Newcastle United were 6 minutes away from a huge victory away to Bayer Leverkusen that would have put them 6th in the league phase standings, but their Achilles heel comes back to haunt them again with another late concession, and that means the drop to 12th. Now, will that be a huge point in the end, or is it 2 points dropped? Well, I'm going to go through that and my trip to Germany. So, let's get on with this video. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Magnificent Mags channel. It's 7:53 on Thursday, the 11th of December. And yeah, guess where I am now? Because I've been hopping all over Europe. I may as well be somewhere else. Yeah, I'm back in Edinburgh. I'm at the Christmas market just down from Princes Street. And yeah, I'm back in the UK. My train's 9 p.m. from Waverley, just along the road there. So I'll be heading there shortly, so let's walk and talk. So yeah, I've just got back from Germany, our Champions League match, away to Bayer Leverkusen. And yes, so frustrating, isn't it, that we were so close to a huge win. That would have put one 12 points, a goal difference of +8, which would have took Win to 6th place, which is currently occupied by Inter Milan. But we're on 7. We're on a +7 goal difference, that is, 10 points, and we stay in 12th, which was also our Premier League standing position. So yeah, Newcastle United once again, their Achilles heel comes back to haunt them, and they concede yet another late goal. Now, I've seen a story today that says apparently the points we have should be enough to get through to the knockout stages, or at least the playoffs, but we'll have to wait and see on that. My frustration with last night is Newcastle United, if they'd hung on, like I said, would have been 6th. And with all the games at the moment, it would have took the pressure off needing to get something against PSV and PSG. Because PSV aren't having a bad season. Funny enough, I'll tell you my route today. So I went from Köln, Hauptbahnhof, so Cologne Central Station. Then I got it to Mönchengladbach, HBF. Then from Mönchengladbach I changed to Venlo, which is in the Netherlands, and then from Venlo to Schiphol, and then I've just flew back from Germany, Schiphol, and now to Edinburgh. I'm going back to Newcastle shortly. So yes, when I was coming back though, I stopped at Eindhoven, and it goes right past PSV Stadium, so I've got to think of our next opponents on the 21st of January. But they're having a good season. They're 5 points clear in Eredivisie, and also they're doing well in the Champions League too, because they've got a massive victory against Liverpool. So they're not going to be any pushovers. And remember when we last played them, Sir Bobby done so well for them there in the 90s. Also, we played them in 2003-04 in the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup, when we drew 1-1 in Eindhoven, and then Gary Speed and Alan Shearer with the headers to put us through to the semis against Marseille. So yeah, it's like a rerun of our UEFA Cup campaign in 2003-04, Marseille and PSV. But yeah, I just felt with all the fixtures coming up, it's still a packed month, not even to the end of January, but February too. And I just thought it might have eased the pressure a bit when we're playing the likes of PSV and PSG, because look, I don't think it's insurmountable going to Paris Saint-Germain and winning. And obviously what'll drive was that injustice of 2 years ago when they gave that stinking decision against Tino Livramento when they said he handballed it when he didn't. We've got something in our belly to go there and prove a point. But we know it'll be difficult. They're current holders. The league phase does suit us, but it is that frustration again that lingers at the end where we can't hold on to a lead. Anthony Gordon alluded to it post-match. He feels like, yes, it might be fatigue. There's a lot of games, but look, we're asking to be a successful club in being in all these competitions. So you can't really use fatigue as an excuse. That's what you've got a squad for. That's why we paid all that money for. So fatigue, I'm not buying it. Now, I think it's down to what I said previously, in that it's a mentality issue and a concentration issue. Well, hang on, I've just got to show you this while I'm here. Look at that with the castle.
Try the knock the cans up game, the ball in the bucket.
Absolutely stunning this. I'm going to walk and talk and go down here though, and then I'm going to head back up there because I want to go and get a drink at the station before I'm going back. There's frustration there that we can't hold on to a lead, and I believe Sky Sports posted a stat that no team has dropped more points in the Premier League this season than us, 11. No team's dropped more points from winning positions in the Champions League than us, with 5. And in all competitions, no team has conceded more goals. I believe it's from the 85th minute onwards, except other than Burnley, we're second. So only Burnley have dropped more with 8 points, and we've got 7. That's how many we've dropped. I'm sorry if I might stumble across a few things, but it's been another long day going via Germany. 3 trains, just catching them. Amsterdam, yeah, and Edinburgh. So yeah, it's been a long week, but it's been worth it. But yeah, just how the game panned out. Because we're like, where will Eddie Howe make the changes? Because we've got obviously the derbies next, the biggest game of the season. And by the way, when I was disembarking the plane, put my phone back on from airplane mode before. He made Jimmy sent us Craig Hope's story. Tino Livramento is wanted by Manchester City, but it's been dismissed that Tino obviously just wants to concentrate on playing and sit down with Ross Wilson at the end of the season. But I'm sorry, look, I appreciate Craig Hope's honest, but his timing, honestly, he loves to stir the pot. And I mean, our biggest game of the season's this Sunday, and he's posting something like that. I just don't get it. I don't get why he thinks it's helpful. But yeah, obviously the game last night, how it panned out, look, that opening goal was frustrating because I felt, well, we didn't start extremely well, we weren't poor, but then that goal knocked her, and Eddie Howe was right. He wasn't disappointed with the performance at half-time, he thought it was okay, but he's right, off the ball, we just weren't touching them, and we were frightened to take chances, create them and score, which he's right about. And I just felt we're open so much in midfield. They just kept bypassing with time and time again. And I just don't get it. Like, they vaunted these midfield 3, but Leverkusen, like, just went through with these last night. That was like no bigger like example than the equaliser at the death. Well, 88 minutes, but you know what I mean. It felt like the death. I felt like death this morning. I feel it now a bit. So please bear with us if I do slur or stumble. I haven't been able to face another pint today. I just can't. Honestly, German beer is fantastic, but so strong. And then obviously the corner came in. The header went off Bruno's backside and into the back of the net. Now, I'm not blaming Ramsdale for that, but it does come back to the goalkeepers where he doesn't look like he commands his box well. Because it's this, we've been calling for Ramsdale, but now we've seen both of them play. They've both got flaws. They've both got plus points, but they've both got flaws. And Ramsdale, I thought he was a good communicator, but he doesn't seem to command his box a lot. He is short. I didn't realise how short he was. And his Achilles heel, like Newcastle's, is conceding late goals, is he just flaps at crosses. He just doesn't deal with them well. So, well, the first goal wasn't his fault, but the equaliser at the end, I felt he could have done better. It squirmed under him. Now, look, I'll let him off a little bit off the hook because the player, Grimaldo, should never have got through there in the first place. But then I come back to the midfield. Like Joe Linton, anonymous yet again. He hasn't had a good game all season, bar maybe the cups. Not good enough. Even Tonali struggling for form at the minute. All the midfield last night, they couldn't string a pass together. They kept losing possession unnecessarily. That moment where Tonali slipped and then they went on the counter, they nearly punished her. And then he was at fault for the first goal because, well, it hit off Bruno's backside. Tonali was marking him to begin with, but then he turned his back away from him. So I just don't understand like why he was doing that. So even he's off form, despite everyone loading our midfield 3 all the time. But then Bruno was trying to create things, but even he was sloppy with his passing. And I feel he was affected with that first goal when it hit off him. He looked gutted. But Eddie Howe's right, we weren't touching them off the ball and we looked scared to create chances. And they were dangerous at set pieces and down the wings. But I thought the midfield, why I'm critical, is that have more control because they were missing Ezekiel Palacios, who's been a massive player for them. But then you go to the decision making. When Gordon won possession back on the left wing, so he was honestly like our left wing, but they were attacking down the right. He played it back to Ramsdale. That's not Ramsdale's fault. It was a suicidal pass. And then Ramsdale barely got it clear, and then he had to save the follow-up from Tala. But yeah, it's just decision making at times, and like that first half were just anonymous. So Eddie Howe obviously brought them in, give them a rollicking, but then the equaliser was just something of Leverkusen's own doing. They had John Flecken in goal, who was obviously the ex-Brentford keeper, and then moment of madness, he was just too casual. And then Voltemada, whose pressing got better and better as the second half went on, just capitalised on that, got in front of him. knew how to draw the foul, and then it was a penalty. So yeah, and Anthony Gordon, he's now scored 5 in the Champions League this season, dispatched it with aplomb. And then we had a couple more chances. Gordon hit the post twice. Jacob Murphy, when he came on, we had a chance to make it 3-1 with Malik Chow's header. But then you go to the second goal, where it looked like a classic smash and grab. Lewis Miley came on, and now he's our youngest ever scorer in the Champions League. I believe he's our youngest appearance holder, and also he's the youngest player to get an assist in Europe. There's one more stat, but honestly, it's been a long day coming back from Germany, so I can't honestly remember what it is. But yeah, it just looked like, right, we've got in a good position. We're winning. We're up to 6th. That takes the pressure off a little bit from needing to go to PSG. If we could beat PSV at home, because I said the last 3 games, 4 points should be enough. So I'm not too down in the fact that we did get a point. That's a good point, because they outclassed and won at Manchester City 2-0 in the previous game. So it's not, that point's not to be snuffed at. Again, the frustration just comes down to mentality and concentration at the end of games. We're just not seeing them out. But yeah, that's where the frustration lingers. I think it could have just took the pressure off the final 2 games a little bit, rotated, because we've got a big cup game. I wanted to get through against Fulham with the holders, but then the derby this week, and I thought Eddie Howe would make changes. He did. I think it was 4 changes, wasn't it? And but he went with a strong team. But they're no pushovers, despite the players they're missing. So yeah, that point's not to be sniffed at. Again, the frustration just comes down to, like I've said in this video, just not seeing games out, and it's costing us so much. Because look, what was the example the other day? If we hadn't dropped the 11 points, we'll be joint top. But I mean, every team could say that, but it's just an example that even if we got half of those points, we'd be in the top 2 or 3 right now. I've just got to show you this. How good does that look, man? I may come back up here before Christmas. He can't be this weekend. I need tomorrow and Saturday to recover, then it's the derby. So frustrating. Like I said, the midfield was poor, anonymous. Gordon, though, I'll give Gordon his credit. He's had another good game. He's now strung about 3 or 4 good performances together, so credit to him. He's found his mojo, he's found his form back. He's on fire. Created problems all night for them with his energy, his direct running. Harvey Barnes was unlucky when Lewis Hall intercepted one of their counters on transition, and he just couldn't get on the end of Lewis Hall's, I think it was a shot, but it ended up going towards the back post. But yeah, we had other chances. Like I said, Jacob Murphy, Malik Chow's header, saved really well by Flecken. We could have won that game, but look, Leverkusen will be happy with a point. You've got to say, still a good result in the whole context of the Champions League. But yeah, that was the thought coming home the day from Germany. It's just a frustration that we should have seen that game out, and we'd be in such a good position in the top 6. But anyway, before I wrap up, I just want to say what the trip was like. It was my first ever trip to Germany. I've been to a lot of Europe, but I've never been to Germany, and I've got to say, fantastic, hospitable, very welcoming people, great. Even went round about 6 or 7 Christmas markets. Sorry, I'm just going to stop because you can see here I am carrying my carry-on luggage. 6 different Christmas markets. Our favourite one was Newmarket, but there was one next to Cologne Cathedral. And then when you go down the Rhine as well, that is like the quayside in a way, because you've got the railway bridge, and I think I came over that the other night when I came from Dusseldorf. But yeah, that railway bridge with the 3 green bridges, the arches, we basically called it our own Tyne Bridge. And we said, can we take them home? Me, Simon and Michael said that. We've got one each, but just going up the stairs. But yeah, it was fantastic. Honestly, the markets, the people, very hospitable, reasonably priced as well. Beer, excellent. Tuesday night, we were in, what's it called, Jameson's. And then they had karaoke on. They said you can't sing tune songs if you don't mind. But then every time a performer got up, started chatting their names. So there was someone called Lou, and we would just go Lou's Black White Army. And the guy in the end gave up trying to correct her. But I've got to give credit, honestly. Like I told you, the disaster I had getting out there. The lads were great. I'm going to be bantered for life. But honestly, I love Germany. Fantastic. We stayed in a hotel in Media Park. But it was brilliant. So easy to get around. Like I said, it's so underrated because people talk about Berlin, Hamburg, everywhere like that, Munich, but honestly, you need to go to Cologne. It was fantastic, and like I said, I'll start in the south, and then you had Newmarket in the west, you had the Rhine to the east. Just everywhere was just black and white. It was fantastic to see. And being down the river during the day, and then we just found a square, loads of Toon fans, because we went to Rheinzeit, a great bar. But yeah, just going along the river and then stumbling across the barn entirely full of Toon fans. It was honestly a sight to behold. And then, like I shared on my socials, thank you for people who shared that and commented. Just crossed the road yet. Yeah, we went to Joe Champs. They weren't letting people in the end because it seemed like you did need a booking, but we're upstairs, round the corner in front of a big telly. Atmosphere was fantastic, full of black and whites. And a few Germans who appreciated how loud, how passionate, how noisy we were. But yeah, honestly, I'm absolutely done in. I feel so tired. It's been one hell of a trip, but yeah, other than Fulham next week and Chelsea, and when I go to Old Trafford, after the derby this week, I'm hibernating until spring. It's honestly, my social battery's very drained, and it's been a heck of a week though, honestly, like going with all the lads like Paul, Singer, Craig, other Craig, both Craig M's, Si, Michael, honestly, like Alan Bruce. Right, Singer!
Got a call from an old friend, we used to be real close.
Yes, fucking love it.
Said he couldn't go on the American way.
Go on, Alan! Go on!
Got the shots on the house, bought a ticket to the West.
Honestly, brilliant, man. Just all of were getting up on karaoke, singing. And when one Craig got up to sing Big River, Wall got up behind him, the guy gave her a mic, and honestly just singing that, it brought the house down. Honestly, what a trip. Because I've got to say as well, like, it was great being out there with the lads. But yeah, what a trip, honestly. Like, it was just the best experience ever. It's not about the match ticket, honestly. I had someone comment that on X. They went, why go there if you haven't got a ticket? I was like, people do it. It's an excuse to go on holiday with your friends who are basically your extended family. I was like, it was brilliant. That was one of the best Champions League aways I've been on. And honestly, you have to do it. You don't need a ticket. It's like a family when you go over there. You don't have to know anyone. You bump into them. Even Dodge on his scooter. He turned up, he'd been in Dusseldorf in Amsterdam, turned up on his scooter, and then just riding around by the riverside. He was hilarious. That's the Geordie Arab. But honestly, what a trip. You have to go to Germany if you've not been. I loved every second of it, but I am worn out, and my train is like I said, at 9 p.m. So I'm probably going to go to the Spoons where I started Monday and get a soft drink. I haven't had a pint today. I'm done in. So I'm going to get a soft drink and then get the train at 9 back to Central. Should be back Central for about 10:45. Now I'll get the bus home and then I'm just going to sleep. But here's one last shot before I wrap up. How good does Edinburgh look? It is stunning up here. Like Germany, the previous years, when we used to fight with Scotland before the unification of the crowns. Why do people fight? Why doesn't everyone just get on? How good is that? So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Germany's been fantastic. Shame we didn't win. But please like, please comment, please subscribe. And I will see you on the next one after we played Sunderland on Sunday. Yes, the derby is next. So I'll give my reaction to that after the game because I will not do a pre-match video because I am worn out. Like I said, I need 2 days, but I'll give my reaction after we played Sunderland on Sunday. And it's going to be one hell of a game because we've got a chance to go above them, end their unbeaten home record, get bragging rights and beat them for the first time since 2011. But that's their fault because they've been all the way down in League One and mediocre and dross. But yeah, that's definitely me wrapping it up for now. I need that soft drink. So please like, please comment, please subscribe. One last shot of the beautiful Scottish capital. Thank you very much and good night.